Started? Okay, alright, so we have to understand today what is required for 2.2. In a nutshell, we have to do an intro, 2 logs, and conclusion. 1 log has to be on biomechanics, and then another log has to be on a skill learning principle of your choice. So the other learning principles we used were things like feedback, mass practice, whole and part learning. We also used feedback quite a bit, different forms. So those you've got plenty to choose from. I'm going to concentrate on biomechanics today and a way that you might do it. You've read an exemplar and you've had a look at one way that it can be done, but this is another way that it can be done and probably fits our process a bit better. So the biomechanics that we've looked at Newton's laws, force, summation, projectile motion, levers, and balance and stability. Now you've done pretty much a lot of your planning, at least for the how and why section, because you've completed this. If you remember, we did a biomechanics skill analysis sheet where you picked out 2 errors and then you applied what you thought was the main biomechanical principle occurring in those errors and why that impacted on the outcome of the skill. So that there is a really valuable piece of mahi that you have done that you hopefully you haven't lost. Okay. In terms of the what, how, why, so what, I'm going to give you a planning sheet as per usual, and I want you to plan before you start writing. But these questions here are a little bit different to these, so you can use this one or this process. Okay. Essentially, what you need to do for the what section is give me a definition of biomechanics. What is biomechanics? Okay. Then define the main biomechanical principle that you will evaluate or use. Okay, so if it's force summation, it's the main one. You talk about what force summation is and give me a definition of that. That is all in Google Classroom on those PowerPoints. Okay. The how and why section is basically how did you use the biomechanical principle. Okay, so we go back to this process here. We identified a skill error. How do we identify the skill error? What did we do?
Took a video.
We took a video. Cool. So we did some a video. What type of skill learning principle is that? Visual feedback. Good. So we did some visual feedback through video analysis through the Huddle app, and that then gave us our skill errors. There you've already shown me what we call interrelationships between the 2 principles. They work together to identify skill error. Then what you do is you talk about how that biomechanics actually is a problem. So an example could be here. So when I did my left hand dodgeball throw, I wasn't using all of my segments of my body, so therefore I was getting decreased force summation. That means there's less force applied to the ball, which means less acceleration of the ball, which is which of Newton's 3 laws? Second law, the law of acceleration. So you can do interrelationship that way between the 2 principles, okay? And therefore the ball will travel less distance because I've got less acceleration on it, and perhaps if it's a game like netball, there's more chance of an intercept. Okay, so you're giving me the outcome of the skill error too. Hey, Pato, any questions? Okay. Then, what were the positives? So this is where you make your judgments about, was biomechanics useful for me to improve my skill? Yes, no, maybe. And how do you know? What were the negatives of using it? And explain why it was negatives. And was any improvements you would suggest for next time if you were to use biomechanics? Alright. So it's a pretty simple process. Plan before you start writing. You've got a bulk of your how and why section done already. And the only other thing I'll say is you're working in pairs, but you must produce your own mahi. Can't be the same law. Alright? And likewise, for those that were away on camp or whatever and couldn't do the actual practice themselves, you are becoming a coach and you write it like you're a coach. Okay? I think somebody did that for 2.3. Was it you, Zoe? Yep, so Zoe did it. If you're not quite sure, use Zoe as a resource to ask, okay, how did you go about doing this? Alright? Because it is a little bit of a different mind shift. No more patai or any patai? Okay, so here's what I expect you to be doing now. You turn that off.